In today's video, we have the latest NHL trade talk around the Montreal Canadiens. Has it become more clear which goalie's likely going to get moved? Plus, in Chicago, what in the heck is going on with Corey Perry? What is Chicago not telling us? Is he going to be traded, or is there something else going on? We also have news from the waiver wire involving the Florida Panthers, and some speculation they might be making room for Patrick Kane. Plus, we also have news on Samuel Girard entering the player assistance program, and another crazy NHL policy involving Marc-Andre Fleury and his mask, and I believe prospects have been involved in a huge junior trade. All that and more coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have a ton of news and some rumors to take a look at today. Let's kick things off with news from the NHL waiver wire. Today, the Florida Panthers announced that defenseman Mike Reilly has been placed on waivers for the purpose of being assigned to the American Hockey League. Of course, they have enough capable NHL defensemen now that obviously Ekblad and Montour have returned. So there is a bit of a logjam in that sense, but also some people speculating that they're creating a roster spot and freeing up some salary cap space to possibly sign Patrick Kane. I know the latest intel on Kane seems to put Florida right at the forefront. They've been listed all along as being the team that's been most aggressive to go after him. Certainly, if you take a look at what the rumors are and what he's looking for, Kane's rumored to be looking for, ideally not a one-year deal. I think he would prefer multiple years. Don't know the exact money that he's looking for, but certainly coming off a major surgery, I'm sure he understands he won't be anywhere near what he used to make before. Of course, he wants to win. It's been rumored he wants to remain on the East Coast. And certainly the Panthers went to the Stanley Cup final last year. They've weathered a storm early in the season without their top two defensemen. They're in the mix for the top three in the Atlantic Division again. And here we are now, they're getting healthy. So there's lots to like about it, not to mention the weather, the lifestyle, the taxes. Like there's a lot to like about being a member of whether it be the Panthers or even the Lightning from a lifestyle perspective, not to mention where the team is at, from a potential winning perspective. So certainly it makes sense. Buffalo and Detroit are getting a lot of attention by NHL insiders as well as potential destinations. But right now, it does look like Florida's the front runner. So we'll find out soon enough. NHL insider Darren Dreger said he believes that Patrick Kane is likely going to make a decision on where he's headed probably right after Thanksgiving. So it could be over the weekend or it could be early next week. Hard to say exactly when we'll get the announcement, but it's believed that he's healthy and completed his rehab. He'll likely have to take a little bit of time with whatever team he signs with to practice and get used to things before he jumps into a game, I would think. But it looks like we could have that very soon. Lots of other news notes from around the league regarding injuries, especially. The Tampa Bay Lightning have activated goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy. So clearly Matt Tompkins was not picked up on waivers today, so he can be reassigned. Vasilevskiy is officially back, as we talked about yesterday. We had the confirmation that was going to happen, so today it's official. The Minnesota Wild also activated Alex Goligoski from long-term injury. The Leafs have activated Connor Timmins from LTIR as well. And we also get some other news that the Buffalo Sabres are keeping a young rookie, Zach Benson, at least for now. He's going to be playing, actually it's ongoing right now as I record this video, game number 10, which means he's going to be burning the first full year of his contract. So once they can play up to 9 games without that being kicked in and not having the option for the entry-level contract to slide a year. So the first year of the contract will be burned. But the other big milestone is at the 40-game plateau, which is obviously when they have accrued seasons, which goes towards when they're eligible to become unrestricted free agents. A lot of times, people think that the rookie getting the first year of the contract burned early like that sometimes benefits the player. And I guess it can, but quite often I think it benefits the team more because it means that they're not likely going to be as established as they might have been otherwise when they get to the end of the contract. So they quite often aren't ready for the big payday yet. So we'll see what happens though. Obviously, he still has lots of time. If for some reason he doesn't play a full season and ends up going back to junior later, then yes, there is an advantage to him getting his next contract a little sooner, but it's not necessarily going to lead to a bigger payday. Really boils down to how he does. But if he hits a 40-game plateau, that'll be a bigger milestone, getting him to unrestricted free agency. a little bit sooner. We also got news today from the Vancouver Canucks. Rick Tocchet has confirmed that Andrei Kuzmenko will be a healthy scratch tonight when they battle the Seattle Kraken. He said he needs more from him, needs him to play a little harder, and hasn't been impressed with his play as of late. So Kuzmenko, after signing a pretty good contract to return to the Canucks in the offseason, hasn't had quite the start like he did last year, and we'll see if he responds well to this benching and can get back on track once he returns to the lineup. As I mentioned as well, we also had a pretty significant trade in junior hockey today involving a top prospect for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Western Hockey League. Prospect Fraser Minton, who was part of the Kamloops Blazers, has been traded to the Saskatoon Blades. In return, the Kamloops Blazers get one roster player and 3 draft picks, including 2 first-rounders. So pretty significant trade there. Kamloops is near the bottom of the standings. I'm sure the Leafs were probably pushing for this as well. I know Kamloops not long ago was a stronger club, but now they're kind of rebuilding again. Obviously in junior hockey, you get the rebuild cycles, a lot more frequent than you do in pro hockey, given how you get some good prospects. You're really competitive for a while, and then you got to start again, right? Not too many teams that can keep trucking along with, solid prospect after prospect after prospect, so they don't miss a beat. But at the end of the day, this gives him a much better chance to be on a more successful team with a team like Saskatoon, where he'll have a better chance of getting into a playoff run, and you never know, maybe even getting a chance to play for a WHL championship or a Memorial Cup. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, of course, but much better chance, more competitive team. Saskatoon is near the top of their division, whereas Kamloops is near the bottom. So certainly good opportunity for Fraser Minton from that standpoint. I suspect he'll have a good shot at getting into Team Canada for the World Junior Championships here as well. So I don't know if the Leafs had any kind of involvement. Sometimes when they send players back to junior, sometimes they do so with a kind of a push to get them moved to be in a more competitive situation, depending on what team they are playing with. Now also, we got some other news I want to talk about. Some of it's not exactly great news, but we had a word today. Marc-Andre Fleury had a special mask made that he wanted to wear because the Minnesota Wild are doing a Native American Heritage Night, and he had a special mask made that he wanted to wear at the very least during warm-ups, if not during the game as well. And apparently he's been told he cannot, and he was going to be fined. And then he said, well, I'm going to wear it anyway, and I'll pay the fine. And apparently the league threatened that if that happened, they were also going to levy a significant fine against the team. And of course, Fleury doesn't want to put the Wild as a team in any kind of bad situation like that and cause them financial issues like that when it comes to his doing. I don't know how significant we're talking here, but it's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, look, before the NHL had the rule that they couldn't use pride tape, and then of course that got overturned. But of course, Fleury's coming from a good positive reasoning here. I mean, I thought the NHL was going to let their players support any causes they want. He's not asking anybody else to participate and do anything they want. And this is all because somebody might be uncomfortable with him wearing a mask. Like, come on. This is getting beyond ridiculous at the league level. Like, Fleury was doing this mask to largely honor not only the history and heritage of Native Americans, but for his family too. Now, his wife falls under the Native American as well. I know in Canada, they're normally referred to as Indigenous. But his wife is being honored with this mask. Apparently, there were quotes from his dad on this mask, the name of his children. Like, you want to have teams support these causes, and you want to make it so that players can kind of choose what they support. You don't want to force anybody to wear a pride jersey. That's fine. I get that. But you're not making anybody do anything they don't want to here. You're just telling him you can't do that. Just like earlier in the year, Logan Thompson of the Golden Knights had a special mask made. I think they were having a Hockey Fights Cancer Night, I think it was. And like they made a huge fuss for that, and he couldn't wear it. Like, it's so ridiculous. This league needs to really shake its head and grow up and change its policies. It's getting beyond. Like, I understand you don't want people to be uncomfortable. You don't want people to be offended. You're trying to be inclusive, but you're not doing a very good job. Like, you're just getting this all wrong, in my opinion. Just let players do what they want. And if they don't want to participate in something, that's fine. But if they do, that's fine too. Don't just let them do what they want, and then you won't get these issues. It's pretty ridiculous here, in my opinion. Another unfortunate news story that came out today as well is the Avalanche are going to be without defenseman Samuel Girard for an extended period of time. He has entered the player assistance program. I've been waiting for more information on this story. I've been following this along for several hours. I know, fortunately, more news was released here and came out before I was, able to record this video. But earlier, there was speculation that he was going to be gone from the team, and then there was a social media post from his dad confirming that, and it referenced a news release from the Avalanche, but I couldn't find a news release from the Avalanche. Maybe he thought it was already released and it wasn't. I'm not sure. But on his own social media page, he just made mention that essentially that Sam was going to be away from the team, that hockey's his passion, and that the team will put out more information regarding his health in the right time. Just kind of, confirming that he was going to be absent from the team, but not really going into a lot of the reasons why. But going to kind of let everybody know it's more personal health, and it might not be due to a specific injury or whatnot. There was some speculation that maybe some people were saying he was having headaches, and maybe he returned from a concussion too soon, but that's not really the case. Now, Sam Girard himself, through his agency, CAA, has put out his own statement as well. So he was very forthcoming with what's going on with him, which is, in my opinion, very brave. So I certainly want to see Sam Girard go through this program, get himself well, and hopefully come out much better on the other side. But essentially, he's confirmed that he's entering the player assistance program, and it's essentially to deal with a variety of severe anxiety and depression issues, which has led to alcohol abuse. Certainly, a lot of depression and anxiety issues can lead to other things if it's not dealt with. And essentially, he said he's taking a proactive approach here, that he's wants to deal with those issues so he can also get himself completely clean here and hopefully move forward. So, of course, a lot of us wouldn't have known without knowing Sam Girard behind the scenes, which we obviously most of us wouldn't hear, that he was dealing with all of this stuff. I mean, he's been in and out of the lineup, but for the most part, he's played well. So sometimes you just don't know what's going on with somebody. So again, just another kind of word to the wise that you never know what people are going through. So it gives you another great reason just to be nice and be kind, because you don't know. And your words can be very impactful in one way or another, positively or extremely negatively. Just like there's always a lot of negativity, not huge levels, but there's always at least a small dose of negativity in the comment section on the videos in our community here. And I just, try not to read into it much or ignore it. But you just keep in mind, regardless if you're on a comment section on YouTube, or you're talking to people face to face, or you're talking about these athletes on social media that you don't even really know as real people, keep in mind that they are people. Everybody has feelings, and it costs $0 to be nice to people, and just to remember that you never know what somebody's going through and how much your words can impact them. So please be kind to everybody, and let's all hope that Samuel Girard can get the help and assistance that he needs, and can get himself healthy again and get back to playing the game that he's passionate about and loves, and provides so much entertainment for us when he's on the ice doing his thing, because he's a heck of a young player and he still has a lot to give, and I hope he can get back to doing just that. A little bit more of a positive news story. We've seen the head coach of the Jets, Rick Bowness, return to the team today after being away for a little over a month, pushing 5 weeks. Of course, he left the team to be with his wife, Judy, who was had a medical emergency around that time when he first left the team, of course. Thankfully, he said he was home when it happened. They've been able to get some things under control, and they've got some arrangements made so that between all of their kids, they can kind of help out a little bit when Rick has to be, away a little bit on the road and busy with the Jets. But he's going to return to his coaching duties, and has been apparently popped in a couple of times behind the scenes just to see the team quickly, but hasn't been officially back. But now he is, so that's good to hear. His wife is doing a whole lot better and is on the mend, and nice to see him back and I hope that whatever she was dealing with, that it's under control and that the family is doing well. It seems like they're a family that has given a lot back to the game over the years. Great people off the ice, well respected, and you hate to see bad things happen to good people, but unfortunately, nobody's immune to health issues, and certainly hope that she's able to move forward and do much better than she was there. Now, on to, I guess, a couple other things here. When it comes to Corey Perry and the Chicago Blackhawks, like, what in the heck is going on? Like, why is Chicago not being more forthcoming? Now, they don't need to say everything. There are some situations that you understand lack of information. This, however, is not one of them. And this is coming from a franchise after going through a huge, controversy, before, who really made a promise to be more transparent and forthcoming with information, to not, kind of rebuild trust with its organization. Now, all we know is for the second straight game today, he was scratched and missed the game as a healthy, well, we don't know if it's a healthy scratch, but an organizational choice is all we know. Luke Richardson still said nothing when asked about it. I'm starting to honestly wonder what this is about. Maybe there was a lot of speculation it was about a trade. They're not coming out and saying asset management. A couple of things you can probably rule out. I mean, if there was any kind of if he was in some sort of legal trouble, you would think there'd be another news story indicating that, something had happened. Well, you didn't hear that. It can't be health related. I mean, if it was a hockey related injury or even health related, you'd think they would just say so. They don't have to give details, but they can say he's dealing with something health related. Or if it's a family matter, you think they would just say he's out for personal reasons due to his privacy. For he and his family, we're not going to say anything more. But no, organizational choice. So it makes it sound like they're either A, protecting him as an asset because they are working on a trade, or B, he's being punished because they're punishing him for something. But the last time, I believe, one of the last times, if not the last time that he was seen on the ice with the Blackhawks was, I know, about 3 days ago. And he was staying after practice. He was doing stuff with the fans. He was doing extra work with Connor Bedard. He's fourth in team scoring, I think he is. I don't see what could have happened. All of a sudden, they're like, yep, you're out. Doesn't make any sense. There are some bad things that could happen that if he could do, I guess. It just seems out of character, and it just seems really bizarre. After, we're a few days into this now, and we still don't know anything more than before. Mrazek was rumored to be maybe involved in a trade too. Can't say for sure that he isn't. The Oilers actually played well today and picked up a 5-0 victory over Washington, so they may kind of pump the brakes on a goalie trade. Hard to say. But then Mrazek backed up today. He didn't play, so he's with the Blackhawks, but it wasn't in the lineup as a starter. So I don't know. It just seems so weird. But it's Corey Perry being traded? Is he being banished? What is going on? We don't know. And it just seems so weird. And in Montreal, listening to the 32 Thoughts podcast today and watching a bit of the Montreal San Jose game that was on early today as well. Caden Primo had a good game, picked up the victory in a shootout over the Sharks. Montreal almost lost that game, but they found a way to hang on a win in extra time. Primo, I thought, did really well picking up the victory. So there's that. Jake Allen had a day completely off. Montembeault was the backup. And listening to Elliott today with all the talk around Montembeault maybe being dealt to the Oilers and being one of the prime targets that they're looking at. Friedman on the podcast again went on to say that Montreal definitely has interest to keep him and sign him, but they're not going to wait long. He's like, they're not going to let this drag on to the trade deadline. So it sounds like they kind of want, and the other part is having a 3-goalie system is not ideal. So clearly, he makes it sound like not that they're going to rush and do something tomorrow, but they don't want to wait very long here. They want to get this contract with Montembeault either finalized and determine that he's going to be part of the future, or they're going to come to the acknowledgement here that maybe what he's looking for, they just can't commit to, and they're going to move him. To me, if you kind of do the process of elimination, they don't want to trade Primo, and they don't want to put him on waivers. That's what the impression I get. They put a lot of time and effort into developing him. He's starting to play a little bit better at the NHL level when he's given opportunities, so that's good. And I just don't think they want to let him go. You've got Jake Allen, who's certainly, has a modified no trade, making a little bit more money. He's a bit older, probably less trade value than Montembeault. As much as they like Montembeault, and I think, at one point you could see him being a part of the future, based on these contract negotiations and the fact that they need to make a decision on somebody leaving town to go back to 2 goalies, it just makes more sense that I think that they've come to the conclusion that it's more likely going to be him. So we'll see what happens, but Montreal clearly doesn't sound like they, based on what Friedman's reporting, that they want to take too long to get this figured out, and if the negotiations don't go too well, I think it's looking more and more likely that Montembeault is the guy that's going to get dealt, and I can see the Oilers being a prime spot. I could see him being a good goalie. He's used to being in a tandem with Jake Allen. He could be in a tandem with Stuart Skinner. I think that makes a lot of sense. It could work well. And we'll see. Like I said, there's possibilities for that deal to grow and be multiple players. And we'll see what happens. But it's looking more and more likely that Montembeault is the odd man out when the time is right here for Montreal. But we'll see. That could always change depending on those contract negotiations. Let me know your thoughts on today's news and rumors down in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.